Pursuant to Governor Healy's March 28, 2025 revised order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL Chapter 38, Section 18, extending remote participation through June 30th, 2027, meetings of the Berkshire Hills Regional School District School Committee will be conducted both in person and remote. Agenda items listed are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed. Items not listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. This meeting is being recorded by CTSB, by the town, by the school district, and by Berkshire Ed. Once transcribed and approved, minutes will be made public and posted to our website. So first thing we want to do is take a roll call, since we have at least one member who's virtual. Sarah Tonetti.
Here.
Allison Reed.
Here.
Jason. Here. Andy is not here. Bill Vogt.
Here.
Bill Fields.
Here.
Diane.
Yes.
Sarah.
Here.
Rich.
Here.
And Steve Bannon here. We have in our packet the minutes of October 9th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Motion approved. Second.
Discussion. Hearing none. Roll call vote. Sarah.
Yes.
Allison.
Yes.
Jason.
Aye.
Bill.
Yes.
Bill.
Aye.
Diane.
Yes.
Sarah.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
And I. It's unanimous. Turn it over to the superintendent's report.
Okay, we're gonna start with the principals, and I may jump around to a grant thing. Then we're gonna do these really remarkable student awards, but somebody's coming back with the physical awards. There's a little mix up, so thanks for your patience on that. Cynthia's at a meeting at Muddy Brook right now, so I'm gonna share some updates from the elementary school, and then we'll get to Jake, and then hopefully Christopher will come running in. At the elementary school, they had a big set of fire safety presentations on Monday and Tuesday from the Stockbridge Fire Department. They came with a fire truck and presented pre-K to 4. Students learned about fire safety and got to see and touch a fire truck. We had a great half day of professional development, and they worked together on belonging, coherence, and consistency. We had a representative from the New Teacher Project, which is our outside partner for the PRISM grant. That's the literacy grant that Muddy Brook got. And they came and did a landscape analysis. Their researcher looked at teaching, learning materials and assignments. And her initial big takeaway was there's an abundance of a strong sense of belonging at Muddy Brook. So that's pretty great. Jake.
Yeah. I actually did keep this short tonight because I know our students are the stars tonight. So I'm sorry Christopher's not here to witness it. Always a pleasure to be here. We are really pleased once again. If you drive behind you boys, you'll notice that there's snow plows sitting out there. We are not trying to, bring on anything from the powers in the universe to get snow in October. But we are very excited to be working with the Great Barrington DPW again to have a snowplow naming and painting contest for our 5th and 6th graders. So we're really thankful to Joe Aberdale and his team at the DPW for doing this. One of the reasons we really like it is it's just a nice opportunity to help our students understand all of the people that it takes to actually make the town work. They get on a bus, they come to school, they drive to school. Not, for them to understand there are people doing the work that allow everything we enjoy about living in these extraordinary communities. Somebody has to do all the work to make that possible. And this is a really nice opportunity to have that conversation with our students. So we're grateful for that opportunity. I know Joe's wife, Carol, she teaches at our school, so he may not have much choice in the matter of this, but that's another conversation. Please feel free to stop by the PTO bingo tomorrow night from 5:30 to 7. It's going to be a fun time. And just a few thank yous. And then I don't have any challenges tonight because we want to move through this and because, we're just doing our usual working hard and trying to do good things with and for kids at Du Bois. But we're really excited. We have a committee of WEB Du Bois educators that are going to be working with a group of folks from the WEB Du Bois Freedom Center to try to build educational experiences for each of our grade levels. Things that we can do year after year after year. So I will be sitting on that committee. Amy Taylor, who's an English teacher, will be as well. Brandon LaFavor, who is a world languages teacher. Damari Taylor, who is a facilitator in one of our special education programs. Jennifer Guerin, who's our librarian. And Kim Cormier, who's an English teacher, will also be doing that work. And we're really grateful to them for the opportunity to sit together and do this work, and trying to build some ties with UMass and the Du Bois Center at the University of Massachusetts. And we think it's gonna do really good things for our kids. So that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since we're waiting for Christopher to come back, I'm gonna jump around a teeny bit.
You can also start if you want this with the.
Yeah, we.
Oh, with your guys' report, yeah, let's do that, and then we'll do the next.
Yeah.
So first up, we had an assembly, I think it was Monday, we had a presentation from Kathy and Chris Sullivan from the Sullivan's Promise Foundation. And it was a really, I think, open and honest conversation about the way that they've seen addiction impact their lives. As someone who has sat in like genuinely a lot of assemblies, I think this was the most engaged I've ever seen our student body with a presentational speaker. It felt like a lot we were being talked with, not at, which was really important, and the conversations that took place afterwards were super meaningful, so that was great. Our Student Adult Advisory Board, better known as SOB, is officially up and running. We've had 2 meetings, and it is the most student interest I've ever seen on the board, which is great. I think we had upwards of 150 kids show up to the first meeting, which is crazy. As we begin to tackle problems head on to the school this year, I also want to just shout out the amount of administrative support we're receiving. SOB underwent a bit of a restructure over the summer where we went from 5 subcommittees to 3. So just 1 on academic experience, 1 on school wellness, and then 1 on communications and celebrations within the school. Each committee now has a designated academic or not academic administrative point person, which is great. I think part of the issue we've run into SOB with in the past is that there's a disconnect between the work we're doing and the work we're able to do with admin and sort of the approval we get from them. So with that as a backbone, I think I'm really confident that the committee is going to be able to do some great things this year. We also had the induction of our new chapter of the National Honor Society, which is really cool. And it was just a nice way to celebrate the accomplishments of some members of our school community. So congratulations to everyone who was included in that.
Yeah, so we had RJ training, restorative justice training. Sarah Mead is our director and our coordinator, and she and a group of students trained a new batch of restorative justice members and facilitators last week. Restorative justice is a program within Monument in which students and facilitators lead conversations to resolve conflicts between like members of the school community, students and adults. It's become a key part of our culture. I've been I'm not a part of RJ, but I've been in a few meetings. It really does help and really does work. For sports, girls volleyball just qualified for states, and they just finished their last regular season game on Wednesday. The boys football team just won their second to last game, 28-6, or third to last game, 28-6 this Friday. Again, and then they're going up against Fitchburg, who's ranked in Division 4. We're ranked in Division 7. So if we win that, not only will we qualify for states, but also Western Mass. Our unified team, which I'm on, had our first home game this Tuesday against Lennox. We lost by 2 scores, but it was a really great game. All of our players had fun. We honored some of our league captains, or not captains, seniors. It was really good. We have another home game coming up next Wednesday and the Wednesday after that at Monument. So cross country as well as soccer are approaching their postseason meets and tournaments. Monument had 5 cross country winners who make the all Berkshire's team this year. This is the highest number we've had in a really long time. The All Berkshire's team is a team created from the best runners in the country and is determined both by times and race performance. So we have some challenges. The boys' bathroom for about a week has been out of commission, locked and closed. It's due to the fact that some obscene amount of empty vape cartridges have been shoved down the toilets, clogging pipes. Students have been trekking all the way across the school just to use the bathroom, me included, missing class time in the process. This raises concerns about both addiction issues in our school, as well as questions on perhaps making available better disposal methods for those suffering from addiction habits. That's all.
Great, thanks. So let me jump to the next thing, which will take a second, and then we'll go to these awards. In your packet is a letter from Governor Healy and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll announcing that we were awarded a career pathways implementation and support grant. It's in the amount of $50,000, and I'd love your approval of that grant.
Have a motion.
Motion to accept the career pathways implementation and support grant from the Commonwealth.
Seconded.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, Sarah.
Yes.
Allison. Allison. Jason.
Aye.
Bill.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Diane.
Yes.
Sarah.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
And I. It's unanimous.
Okay, great. So let's move on to these student award presentations. We have 4 awards to share tonight, and I'm super excited about it. And each one of you is remarkable, and collectively you're remarkable. Thanks, parents and families, for coming. Hopefully, in addition to celebrating like your hard work, you can put these awards to use in some thoughtful way in terms of college, post-secondary, or work applications. And we make a point of sharing them relatively early, because we know some of you may be applying to things early decision, and this is a nice thing to share. So let me go through each of them. Christopher and the guidance team at Monument wrote bios for each of the people. So I'd like to start with Sadie Honig Briggs. And let me read this and then I'll hand you the award. So Sadie Honig Briggs has an aptitude for learning, a never-ending curiosity, and an ability and willingness to ask provocative questions. Sadie is eager to learn. She comes to class prepared. She's an integral part of every class discussion, and she always acts with integrity and honesty. Sadie attributes her academic success to her strong desire to get to know her teachers and why they are passionate about the subjects they teach. Sadie loves to write, and she is considering majoring in creative writing and journalism. One of her biggest academic strengths is her comfortability asking questions. She believes this is the best way to gain a deeper understanding of the presented material for herself and for her classmates. Sadie also fell in love with chemistry during her sophomore and junior years, as the hows and whys in life fascinate her. Sadie earned the Harvard Book Award as a junior. Sadie is a tremendously talented musician and actress, and she possesses great vocal abilities. Sadie performed as Caddy in Mean Girls, Shava in The Fiddler on the Roof, as well as various roles in several Shakespeare plays. Sadie is compassionate, perceptive, persistent, collaborative, intelligent, and kind. Congratulations. The Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents Award. Okay. Reese, are you ready? Okay. Again, like Christopher, I really appreciate the thoughtfulness that your team put into writing these. Reese is a reflective, kind, hardworking, and resilient person. Reese loves to learn, and she's interested in the environmental sciences, biology, journalism, and French. That said, she's demonstrated strong skills and a curious mind in so many academic areas. Reese pays attention to detail. She's a strong writer and an avid reader. Reese earned the Cornell University Award as a junior. Reese activities choices align with her values. She brought back our school's composting efforts, as well as being the lead steward for our school garden project Scrap. Reese cares about our school community, and she demonstrates that by participating in student government, being a trained facilitator for our restorative justice program, and being the school's yearbook editor. Reese is empathetic, insightful, and an agent of change. She possesses a quiet fortitude, and she has the ability to advocate for herself and others. And this is the National School Development Council Award for Academic Growth and Student Leadership and Learning. Congratulations. Mirabelle? Hi. Mirabelle is a kind, empathetic, inquisitive, and academic human being. She strikes that perfect balance of being studious and diligent with her schoolwork while embracing all the moments in life to be lighthearted and playful. Not only does Mirabelle take great pride in her education, she also treats all of her activities, jobs, and endeavors with an air of great professionalism. She's an Alpine Level 1 certified ski instructor and a master at teaching youngsters at Butternut in the winter. She's often the first face you see at the Prairie Whale in Great Barrington, which immediately starts your meal off right. Right, so well written. Mirabelle has investigated and followed her interest in studying medicine by interning at Fairview Hospital and volunteering at the front desk at Volunteers in Medicine, also in Great Barrington. Mirabelle is curious and inquisitive. She's incredibly thorough, regardless of the task in front of her. Mirabelle earned the Dartmouth Book Award as a junior, as well as the Seal of Biliteracy. She has served on the Academic Affairs Committee, and as you know, she's been the student representative to the school committee. And Mirabelle's award is also the National School Development Council Award for Academic Growth and Student Leadership in Learning. And now we come to Tyler. And Tyler, we've had a little issue with the Daughters of the American Revolution, so we will give you your physical award at a later date. Tyler Campbell is the deserving recipient of the DAR Award, embodying the very qualities the award recognizes: good citizenship, leadership, dependability, and patriotism. As a student at Monument Mountain Regional High School, Tyler consistently demonstrates a remarkable array of qualities that make him an exceptional individual. His charisma, thoughtfulness, and generosity inspire his peers, while his talents and resilience make him a valuable asset to the school community. Whether serving as the team manager for varsity basketball, participating in the unified basketball team, teaching in our pre-K program, or representing students on the school committee, Tyler brings infectious enthusiasm and positive energy to every endeavor. What truly sets Tyler apart, however, is his kind heart and welcoming spirit. He's a role model who makes every student feel seen and valued, and his presence is palpable at school events. Outside of school, Tyler's passions include playing guitar, following sports, and working as a landscaper and golf pro shop manager. But his greatest strength lies in his love for family and his unwavering commitment to those he cares about, as shown as he unselfishly and wholeheartedly volunteers to take his brother and father to their medical treatments. Tyler plans to attend college to study early education and become a teacher. Congratulations. This is great.
Good night.
Really, really wonderful. So congratulations, students, congratulations, families and parents. Everybody's doing really well. Really an honor. All right. What we're going to do now is transition to our early childhood update. Everybody's welcome to stay. but if you wanna go have a celebratory ice cream cone, none of us will be offended. Okay, take care.
Yeah. See you guys, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you, thank you.
Did you guys get it?
Thank you.
Seemed fair that them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fair cones. All right, we're gonna shift gears a little bit. We asked, Jack Coletti and Bethlehem Young Cat to come and do a presentation on our early childhood program. So I'll put the slides and you all can come up and do that. And thank you for doing it. Steve, as I do this, I will be able to see, that wants to see.
How are you?
Once, no, once, I said just look at the first presentation. You take the advantage.
Oh, you're set?
Oh. That's nice.
No, that's perfect. Well, I'll start off and then Betlin's gonna talk a little bit. The first slide, I should probably just kind of describe a little bit. This is a presentation that was put together by some high school students for our middle school expo. Sean Flynn and Heather Boyko, and Ian Brown and Mr. Barnes last year put together a little time for us to go down with some student reps and talk to middle schoolers about all the CBTE programs that we have to offer at the high school. And so I asked some of our great pre-K students to put together a little presentation. And I figured this is the best way to at least give a little bit of the flavor of kind of the atmosphere and the joy that we have in the preschool program. And I don't understand the seagull, but they thought it was hilarious. And they thought that middle school children would respond to it. And we've changed a little bit of it to add some information that might be more pertinent to this committee. So the next slide is the team. That is myself, Batlin, Miss Jen, and Miss Darlene. Those are the team that make up the preschool. We're open from Monday to Friday, 8 to 4. I'm gonna let Batlin talk about the preschool because that is her expertise.
Oh, let's find out. All right, the one great thing I like about the program is, I have the ability to, collaborate with the other teachers at the high school. And even Book as well, so, this is a great ways to get the little kid get exposed to different ways of teaching, different ways of learning, and then fosters curiosity and they're gonna be very successful. So we've been for 3 years with the library and then greenhouse. So we go to the greenhouse weekly and we plant, we make flowers. It's a hands-on, like here we have a apple cider machine, so we're making, that's the little kids making apple cider before they went apple picking. And we are making apple cider, it's like, they didn't know it was even apple cider, it was so tasty, and then they're doing it, they're squeezing, they put all their little powders. And then the library, we have with the librarian Kara, we go weekly. So she reads a story. The big kids, the high schoolers call them big kids, and the little kids we call them little kids. So they go as well. So she model reading to little kids with the high schoolers. And we sing, we usually do a craft. And then the high schoolers will sit down and read with the little kids. The third picture is with the 4th grade teacher, Bonnie. So we did a body reading. So she brought some of her students. I mean, the whole class, and I got my own class, and we meet on the lawn. Some of the 4th graders, like, they wouldn't necessarily read in front of the classroom, but they felt comfortable reading to the little kids. There are some Spanish-speaking kids in her class, and a couple Spanish-speaking children as well. So you see, they are so excited to read to them in Spanish. And Something they wouldn't do public speaking in English, but they are very comfortable reading in Spanish with the other kids. There was that connection. Language, and then we have firefighter Steve. At the high school,
Who we're told to call Lieutenant Steve.
now he's Lieutenant Steve, so I'm sorry.
You get the rank right. Mr. Estelle needs that one.
Every year, he comes for like 3 times and he teaches the kids about fire safety, what all his gear, all his equipment. He wish he could, but it's a big truck because it's a different town, Goshen. He cannot bring it, so, but he wish he could do that. He teaches us about fire safety, what to do, like create a safety house, safety plan, like in case there's fire. And he bring in things to the kid. It's really come like he do a 3 session. One day he teach about safety, about the gear for kids not to be scared of firefighters. It's really awesome. He's gonna come again sometime next week. Next is still us at the greenhouse. That bunny you see over here is Gail. So she kept the bunny, the kids love it, they, on top it's us planting, making, I don't know what planting stuff, and then this picture with Gordy, the history class, so, Gordy had the project Sprout. We go harvest tomato, lettuce, the kids send them home, we send them home with the kids. It got this whole class, they did applesauce with the little kids. They all decided to take a picture together, a big picture together. And that us picking up apple for that apple cider with Gordy. And we eat in the classroom, so we go get the food and the kids in the classroom. So once in a while, the cafeteria staff offered for the kids to go to the cafeteria, which is a big deal. They're so excited. They line up, they choose their own food. Like the big kids, they feel they're part of the high school. So, and they line up getting their food. And then that's Jack Coletti. That awesome. So we did we grew some caterpillar last month, right?
Mhm.
So we went to the field, we got some caterpillar and we bought them, we go butterfly, not caterpillar, butterfly, I'm sorry. So we got butterfly, that's us releasing our butterfly, give them names, the kids name them like popcorn, buttercup, silly Sally, and Spot. We had 5 butterflies, and, yeah. So we did a release thing, they're happy. Last year, Jack planted some pumpkin seed. So that's us harvesting pumpkin to make pumpkin pie, pumpkin stuff in our classroom, so.
At the project Sprout.
At the parking spot, across the street from Muddy Brook.
Okay, so now we get a little bit into the course progression quickly, but I think Betlin wanted to highlight some of that stuff because it really is such a fabulous thing that we can't go without saying that we have the ability to collaborate with other teachers in the high school. That's just something that doesn't exist in a lot of places. And so it's great to have the students there and it's great to have the teachers, but the teachers that are outside of the pre-K that take their time, like April's on her prep when she's giving us greenhouse time. Kara opens up the library and sets it apart. Steve Soul is coming down, with his fire gear on and really excited and puts lessons together. When you, I'm so sorry. He's great too. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have a building and grounds. So he gets a shout out too. Not on the picture. They put up a great fence for us in the back, we should say, because that allows for the traffic that comes through where they're going to softball games or football games. We're contained, we're safe. It's a much better space out back with that and some new playground equipment. That's all great. So shout out to all the people we get to work with. So the course progression that we have at Monument is that high school students take Exploring Childhood first. That's for 1 semester, so it's half the year. It's 1 period a day. It is the prerequisite to work in the preschool program. Most people take it their freshman year, but oftentimes it's full because it is a popular one. And we can really there are some sections that have 15, 18 students and it gets crowded in that little space where, we're hoping for a new space soon, but the space that we have now only allows for that many students. And so if I can get 15 and 15, I have 30, and I do it, 2 periods, the first semester, 2 periods the second semester. So there's the potential of 60 students taking that class their freshman or sophomore year as a prerequisite. Many of the students don't go into the preschool program after that. But I always say to all the students, it's a really important class. You'll see in the next one of why. Then it goes to pre-K 1, which is a full year course, 2 periods per day. We're running them back to back. With the schedule change this year, they're a little bit longer. Last year we had the schedule where we had longer blocks, shorter blocks, and so we put them together. So high school students would have an ability for each day to be there for enough time to meet the requirements of the Chapter 74 program, which is pretty substantial. Pre-K 2 is a lot the same, and I'll talk more about that. And then students go on to their internship, student teacher. So we can go on to the next one. In Exploring Childhood, we're covering topics of pregnancy, childbirth, parenting, brain development, family planning. It goes into infancy, toddlers. We sometimes get to preschoolers, but more so the preschool pit is when you go on to really study them in depth in the room. Great groups of kids. It's really hard to keep them out of the preschool room because we're right next door and there's a little observation window and they always want to go in and interact. And we say, well, okay, we can go in there as long as we go over the rules and the safety stuff first. It's kind of discussion based. We have videos, articles, lectures, project-based learning. I think the next slide shows a little bit about just one quick image where students are learning about Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences with Mr. Potato Head. They had many activities that they had to do. So we're working in theorists with the idea of joy and play and still having fun. High school kids actually do love doing that. The next one that's pre-K 1. So once they go into pre-K 1, it's more of a course of observing in the preschool, watching, learning what they're doing. Students are journaling, they're going over lesson plans and looking at what the expectations are for kids. We're looking at the Massachusetts frameworks so we can see what preschool students need to do to be kindergarten ready. So it's a lot more of a study. We're talking more about theorists. There is more time based in the separate high school workspace than in with the preschoolers, but again, depending on the kids, it is really difficult to keep some of them out of the preschool. They want to be in there with the little ones working. So it's always learning through play. So up in the corner, it's a concurrent course, articulation agreement with BCC. It's called EC 104. So all the students that take that program that sign up for it also get college credit from BCC just by taking that course. And the next one is probably pre-K 2, I hope. Pre-K 2, you get more into lesson planning, doing bulletin boards. This is where they're really getting into the meat of planning lessons, implementing lessons, assessing students, finding out what it is that they need and how they can help each student. It becomes more of an independent study because the high school students kind of get to choose which preschooler they want to work with and what area of development they want to focus on. They're assessing students and they're seeing how they can help and really how they can build them up and help in areas of development. Oh, there's some great students out there, some of them wonderful. And then they go on to their internships. Currently we have 3 at Muddy Brook, I think Rose, Amelia, and Val. They go to Sunshine and have gone to St. Paul's. Currently, we don't have any going there right now, but the internship, so typically it's Exploring Childhood freshman year or sophomore year, hopefully freshman year. They do pre-K 1 sophomore, pre-K 2 junior, and then as a senior, they're going into their internship where they can go out into the community. Again, they made the slideshow. Some of the colleges that we have affiliations with, Westfield State, Elms College, UMass, Skidmore College, BCC. Those aren't the only schools that kids go to. We have students going all over the place. I think in the next one you see Olivia Sims went to Holy Cross. She's there this year. These are students that have recent grads. I put myself in, of course, me, that's not a recent grad. But that was me in the very pre-K room, I think like 30 years ago, roughly, as a student teacher.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
And we have Caitlin Decker, who was a preschool grad, went through the preschool program as a preschooler, then went through the program as a high school student, and is now currently teaching at Muddy Brook. Brittany Bertelli, her daughter graduated from the preschool last year. She is currently teaching at Muddy Brook. Megan Mitchell recently graduated. She's currently subbing at Muddy Brook. Emily Danello is currently subbing at Muddy Brook. Isan Zhang is subbing and he's running an after-school program with me. And then there's just a couple. Olivia Sims going to Holy Cross, and of course, my beloved Sophia, she'd be mad if I left her off the list, is going to Curry, studying early childhood education. So there are a lot of kids that are taking the program and going on to four-year schools to become teachers.
And Tyler said studying to be teacher.
Oh, and this, of course, they thought I couldn't do a headstand, and I left that in there just again to show a little bit of the joy that we experience in the preschool. It's buffering. I was probably much fluid and much more. I did something good there. And so if you can just go to the next one. Yeah, it should be there. I just added that, and while it looks like a horror movie scene, perhaps, this is our art closet in Monument. And when I was thinking about Tyler sitting here, Tyler's gone, like he is one of our stars who just received an award. We have many of them, and they all have their own story. And one of the kind of rite of passages in the art room has been to write your name on the wall in some way. And now it's in my office where they put handprints on and sign their name as seniors. And it's like, it just speaks to the idea that the high school students really own this program, and they take, like, they show pride in it, and they are really a part of it. And I just, as we think about a new building for the district, it's just amazing to reflect on the people that have gone through and gone on to become educators, and like the magic that Kathy Roy did for years. I mean, I'm a product of it. I was not a stellar student, as some people in this room can attest to. But getting through that with the blessing of Kathy Ciccarello and Miss Roy, it created the person that I am. And so I'm so thankful for that. And then the guitar that a student drew in my office, painted on the wall, those are thank you cards. And I didn't bring any to share because they're kind of personal, but like, as thankful as I am that those people supported me to get me where I am, I now have students sending me those letters of gratitude. And it's really meaningful. So I think that the next one is the end and questions, and I hope that was quick enough and brief enough.
Great.
Any questions?
How many preschool kids are there?
Now,
I know the answer, but I'm deferring to the preschool expert.
we cut to 12, right now we are 10,
Mhm.
and then hopefully,
I may have one more for you. We have a recent hopeful hire who would like to send her child to preschool.
And are they, how do they how do they come into the program, the little ones?
a lot of word of mouth,
Hmm.
and then we have a lot of staff, children, and.
Staff children, yeah.
Staff children.
It's a lot of staff. It is a tuition break-based program. The history of the program was it was a half day, and it was a very small fee, $400 or something for that. We moved into a pay-based system when we went to chapter 74 and moved to a full day to help with staffing. But we also have had a wonderful supportive superintendent who has said he's gonna limit it at 12, even though preschool regulations could take up to 20, because it is a learning program, and the high schoolers, when high schoolers and preschoolers and teachers are in the space, it can become overwhelming. So 12 preschoolers, although not typical in a program, is what we're using.
And the new school will have a bigger space for you?
Yeah, bigger, more appropriate space.
It will, right now, our preschool area shares with the high school learning environment, so sometimes I'm teaching a class and there's preschoolers, and we've managed to make it work, but it's, again, it's been working for many years, but it could be much better. And the design in the new school provides a space for preschoolers right next to the space for high schoolers. And so, that's really.
And a separate entrance for parents and families to do drop off and to park. The big shift we made a few years ago was we made the program full day instead of half day, and that works much better
That's huge benefit.
for modern families.
And 5 days a week. It was half day, 3 days a week. So now we are 8 to 4 and 5 days a week.
3 hours, and my son was.
Yeah,
it was
3 hours.
Before
It
you
was a
drop off
morning
the
little.
kids, by the time you go home, it's time to
Yeah.
come back.
And so my hope for the future for the program is as we continue to grow and shift, perhaps those pre-K two high school students can have more flexibility in their schedules to take it throughout the day. We're kind of a little handcuffed because of teacher contract that I'm only available for so many classes and I teach the Exploring Childhood. So with that in there full-time now and our great paraprofessionals, I'm hoping that we can do some working so kids can really be a part of the program at drop-off time, for example, or pickup time, or outdoor recess, instead of just the times that they're available now. Scheduling is a tough one, but we're doing great, and the kids are loving it and having fun, and we're turning out teachers.
2 questions, Jack. The first one is that wall that you have there, with the guitar and
Yeah.
all the names. Can that be, I'm being optimistic, we're gonna have a successful vote and we're gonna have a new building. Can that wall be taken over to the new building and left as like the scoreboard at Fenway Park?
Yeah.
I hate to say Fenway Park, but.
You're not wearing the hat, the enemy hat, so put it down.
That would be wonderful to bring over. And I think the kids who have been through the program would
Yeah.
like to see it too.
And I hope that wall continues to grow for many years in whatever building we're at, the wall of gratitude.
Yeah,
The other question I have, how many, girls and boys are in the program in regards to students? Is it dominantly female? Is it male? And what could you do to get, if it's what I think it is, what could you do to get more men involved with it? Males.
There is a heavy influence from the female perspective in the teaching world, and that's just true across the board. If you look at elementary schools, I mean, Muddy Brook is very fortunate. I'm a male in early childhood, and John Broderick is down there, and Glenn Chamberlain. We have some amazing men. It's a tough sell for a lot of them. I think it's coming around a little bit more. Tyler is there. Finn Wheeler is an amazing rock star who we're hoping not to lose, and we're trying to hold on to him, but he is in our program and he's going to study education. Tyler's going to study education. So, Harvey, another Yankees fan, is in there. Grayson. Right now, we have a good number of students, male students in the program. My hope had been, and I think Christie's was too, if they hire a male teacher in the role, we'll start to spread the word that, hey, you can come in and hang with me. It's pretty good. So the big draw is that Exploring Childhood. If it's fun and they have a good time and they enjoy what they're doing and they get that spark, they're not necessarily going into education, but so many of them, by the time they go through the program, have shifted. I had a conversation with a student today, and I might be in a slight bit of trouble because she said to me, I've been talking to my parents all along, and they have it in that I'm gonna be a medical student, and I just had a conversation with them that I'm gonna be a teacher. And, after being in this class, so it does change their minds in the experience, but.
Now, I know that my granddaughter, Hannah, was in, Exploring Childhood. And I bring that up because she talked about the influence that Dion Brown had. When Dion Brown was in Exploring Childhood, some of the guys were looking at that program saying, oh, Dion's in the program?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
maybe I should do that.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah, when you have someone like Finn, who's the
Yeah.
captain of the basketball team, I mean, you have people in there that they say, hey, it's a cool thing. Back in my day, I had a group of lots of guys.
Yeah.
We were all in that program together. Big football player. Not Rich, he didn't take it. He was a big football player. I'm not saying he wasn't. He just didn't take the class.
Any other questions or things people wondering about?
Fascinating.
Excellent, guys. Thank you for coming. Really good.
Thank you.
And whatever you get.
Can we go have ice cream too?
Thank you.
All right.
We might go to Mike's. I don't know.
Okay. So So our next standing topic is the MSBA update, which is broadly sort of around the project. Jason, do you have anything to?
I mean, we're at the home stretch. This is our last meeting before the vote. You know, it's a week from Tuesday, so, you know, just do the best you can to get people out there to vote, not pushing one way or another politically, but, you know, we just want everyone to get out and exercise their rights. As far as information sessions, since our last meeting, we had the Housatonic as well as the Great Barrington Senior Center. Both went really well, very informative. A lot of people there asking a lot of good questions. I think were answered appropriately and very well. Because of the success of those two, we actually added a last one on. We weren't going to, but Tuesday, the 28th, Berkshire South. It's at 6 o'clock. We're gonna have added another information session if people are interested in. So if you have anyone out there that wants to ask questions or wants to be part of it, please spread the word. Other than that, you know, hopefully at our next meeting, we'll have some good news to share.
Look forward to it.
And just connected to that, Berkshire South was really generous and they donated the space for us to host that meeting. So we appreciate them for that.
Very good.
Good, but belonging and safety, no new updates this week, though there's lots of good stuff happening in the schools. What I have to share next, we had a policy meeting before this meeting. And this first one was in your packet. It's labeled policy ECAF, and it's security cameras in schools. This is MASC policy that we had not previously included in our policy book or policy site. And there's a strong recommendation that we include it. We discussed it in policy, and we'd like to add one sentence to it, but this is a first reading. And the additional sentence we'd add to it would be towards the end. Cameras will not be used for evaluative or evaluation purposes. But the rest of it we think is good as presented. If anybody has any comments or questions, we're happy to respond to it now, or we can revisit it at the second reading.
Then we'll vote on it at the second reading at the next meeting.
I have some reservations about it. I'll be full disclosure to the committee. I think the policy as it's written for its purpose is fine. I have very mixed views on security cameras in the schools. Particularly in the interior of schools. And I will come back with some comments. I think what I'm gonna kind of go with is maybe an extra level of checks and balances here. I think this, you know, from a civil liberty standpoint, may need an additional check and balance beyond just leaving any discretion to the superintendent. Maybe we have some kind of reporting in executive session, the school committee or something, but I just think surveillance unchecked in society always turns badly. I think the policymakers here try to strike a good balance with law enforcement. But I think that's very open-ended. I think some of the language gives maybe too much comfort that the level of this would be accessible to law enforcement. Any law enforcement, federal law enforcement, whenever they wanted it. So I will try to reduce any proposed changes I have to writing for the next meeting.
Yeah, great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
No, I think that's good. So.
And I would encourage maybe the administration at the high school we heard a lot about SOB and some of this engagement. I would be very interested in hearing student thoughts on security cameras in the schools.
There's one thing to understand, Rich knows this already. This is after the fact, security cameras are all throughout.
I know. And when we accepted the grant, I raised some of these same concerns.
No, I know you know that, but I don't want
Yes.
anybody to believe that we're gonna all of a sudden put 30 cameras in, they're already there.
No, and that, the administration did the complete right thing. We have something that we need a good policy for.
Yeah. Christopher, did you have something you wanted to add?
No, he was saying he would like to hear from the kids, so yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the next couple, and this is sort of interesting. I think everybody's aware of, the vocational schools within the state. And so we're a comprehensive high school that has some vocational programs. And then there's standalone vocational schools. There's a big debate going on statewide about, sort of the admissions processes and what are okay and what's not okay. And I think the perceived concern is that some schools aggressively screen students or cherry pick students. And that has caused some concerns, and there's debate about that, and they're trying to do something. At the same time, and part of it's tied to an equity thing, part of it's tied to other stuff. At the same time, the state has explicitly asked us to have two things that they're calling policies, and we discussed in policy, and they don't really fit into the policy book. They're more procedures than there are policies. So the first one, and people picked up paper copies of it, is this one, the middle school pathway exploration policy. And the intent of that is to make students, middle school students, aware of a range of options. And what our practice is consistent with this. It's all our programs going down to the middle school and presenting to middle schoolers around what they might do. And then for schools that aren't comprehensive high schools with their own Chapter 74 programs, they have an obligation to list partner vocational schools. Because we have our own, we don't have an obligation to list others, we just list ourselves. So this articulates that, and it talks a little bit about what we should do. So I think this is fairly straightforward, the first one.
Has everyone had a chance to read it and feels comfortable endorsing it? So do I have a motion to approve this?
So we're just approving, we're not doing the first reading.
We're not doing, this isn't really a policy.
Yeah, no.
What's really odd about this is really state law, and we have to follow state law, but they want us to approve it, so.
And they literally want Colin and I to enter that it's been approved at the
Motion approved.
school committee level.
If it's helpful at all on this one, we literally took a state template that was provided to schools and just made sure it fit with our timelines and DMX.
That's perfect, Colin, that's great. Do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion?
we already do this.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're codifying what we already do.
Right, and we're told we have to do it.
Yeah.
So there's two reasons to vote for it.
So this,
So let's vote
oh, yes, thank
on.
you.
Sarah,
Yes.
Allison,
yes,
Jason.
Aye.
Bill.
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Sarah,
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
and I is unanimous.
Okay, the second one, the one with our new district and school logos on the top, is the CTE recruitment, admission, and retention policy. And again, Colin and Christopher worked on this, and it also follows a template. A lot of it is saying what we do. There's one place that I missed that we need to fill in, which is Roman numeral 8. And we just have to insert 3 sentences, one for each of our programs, so the automotive, the early childhood, and the horticulture program. And then we may insert a placeholder for the electricity program. This one, in some ways, is more important because it helps set the stage for an admissions process that lets us charge students sending towns if they're not part of our own district and they're not part of our 3 existing tuition agreements. we can charge those towns vocational tuition if we're accepting students into our current 3 programs and potentially 4 programs. So I think that's good too. The state is also requiring us to do this. What I mentioned at the beginning about the screening thing, this doesn't address that yet. That's an ongoing conversation, and I imagine as decisions are made at the state level on that, we may come back and revise this, but this is currently appropriate.
Do I have a motion to accept this?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, sure.
What is the reimbursement amount for vocational out of district students?
It's, I believe it's around $25,000.
It's like by formula, and it excludes just only a couple things out of our budget.
And do we admit people from out of district, or are these programs full of our own students from the 3 towns?
This will change over time. Right now, our programs are full, but we may have a limited number of choice students in a couple of them who, if this process was fully up and running, which we will have it for next year, new students that would come in would do that. But our obligation is first to serve the district students. And then if there's space left over, we can serve others, right? And we know, I mean, Jack just shared, Jack and Betlin's program is full right now. Christinello's program is also full. There's some space in the horticulture program, and we'll see as we start the electricity program, how much space we have. But the taking 3 or 4 kids in one program would generate enough revenue to cover the cost of a teacher, an existing teacher, or potentially an additional teacher. So this is a good thing.
Is there a projection how much growth there will be in each of these programs with a new building?
Yes, and I just can't remember it off the top of my head. So the automotive space is a little bigger, so there's some room there, right? So maybe we could serve 10 more kids than we're serving now, maybe 15. The horticulture program already has space, and I think that'll be part of the main building as opposed to, it's like a satellite thing, will make it easier to increase enrollment. Well, Jack was talking about keeping the class size for the little ones low. I think there's some room in the early childhood program. And then I think ultimately the electricity program will carry roughly the same number of students as the automotive program, which is, I think, 60 to 70. So, but again, that doesn't mean we're getting 60 times 25,000, right? But in each of the programs, we might charge tuition to 4 or 5 kids. But across 4 programs, starts being significant.
Any other questions?
I think in our next round of tuition agreements, we revisit that formula as well, but that's something for another day.
Yeah, I'd like to look into the, I think we could.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
To the legalities of it all.
Yeah. Motion approved.
Second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Sarah?
Yes.
Allison?
Yes.
Jason? Aye. Bill?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Sarah?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
And I, it's unanimous. Thank you, Peter.
Okay, and the only thing I missed at the beginning, but he probably doesn't have anything. Christopher, Tyler and Mirabel did such a good job. Is there anything you were dying to say that you get to say?
You know, I wasn't gonna follow up after what they did, all the student awards and Jack Bentley. I think we're all set.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Buildings and grounds, have you met?
Last time,
Okay.
yeah, I gave a report.
Superintendent's evaluation,
Next week.
finance subcommittee.
Next week, on Thursday,
November sixth.
It's a week after.
finance is November 30th. It's our one rare off cycle, but we're not doing it the same night as school committee. And that will be a very, we're gonna break down all the budgets for the 3 buildings, so that's a good one.
October 30th.
What'd I say?
No, it's.
October 30th.
Negotiations has one set of negotiations set up.
I think we got a date for the second
Did we?
one too.
We could have, been busy, I hope it's on our calendar. Very short personnel report, Peter, do you have anything to add to it?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited by the people we hired.
Any old or new business? And any public comment? By unanimous consent, we are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.